Good afternoon. Very warm welcome to everyone today for our webinar titled GIS and GOE applications in mining. First of all, I take this opportunity to wish you all a very happy new year. Hope 2022 brings a lot of success in your professional lives. So today we are joined by three eminent personalities who will be presenting the webinar before you. The first speaker will be Pramod Sarangi from EDS Technologies. Pramod has more than 26 years of experience in the field of geology and mine planning. He has experience in production planning and delivering production schedules of iron and chromite, china clay, and limestone. He has more than 7 years of experience at EDS Technologies in sales and customer support of GeoGS. Our next speaker is Mr. Krishna Rao from SC India, who is head of pre-sales and also a GIS technology architect. He is responsible for enterprise customer management at SC. He has got about 25 years of experience in the space of GIS. And the third speaker of the session will be Ms. Saranya, who is the assistant manager for data science at SC India. She has 5 years of experience in the geospatial industry. Before handing it over to Pramod, I would request the audience, if they have any questions during the webinar or after the webinar, they can post it in the questions section. We shall take it up at the end of the webinar and we shall answer them individually. Over to you, Pramod.
Thank you, Abhay. Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to this particular session on GIS and GeoVia application in mining industry. So here in this particular session, we are going to showcase how these two particular application will help to the mining industry to get their goal to achieve in a better sustainable mining in their day-to-day mining activities as well as from the long-term to short-term. So here the agenda will cover about this particular session. It will cover the mine design and production planning, which will be covered by me, and it will cover the application of GeoVia solutions, what we are already having, and most of the customers in India, they are also using, and maybe some new customers and new team join. So I'll just go a overview of that particular application. Then after my session, I will hand over to Mr. Krishna Rao and Saranya to go through this particular applications on ArcGIS for mining technology overview, then application of GIS in mining, 2D and 3D capabilities, mining workflows with mobile apps, location intelligence with drones, site scan for ArcGIS, track sustainability goals with ArcGIS, geo artificial intelligence for mining, real-time integration. So all these applications, definitely it will be helpful for all the attendees here who are associated with the mining, so they can able to get the benefit. So now I am going to start about the GeoVia application in the mine design and production planning, so that you can have an idea that how our solutions will helpful in which sector and in which application. So before going to the presentation of the application, I just introduced my organization. We are from EDS Technology Private Limited, and we are incorporated in 1994 to focus on PLM solutions, sales, implementation, and support. We are the bronze partner for Esri. We are the platinum partner to Dassault System and the largest engineering and mining solutions provider in India, more than 1,500 customers. And we are having 7 offices across India and dedicated sales support, marketing, customer satisfaction, and audit team. We are also having a robust e-learning portal with focus on the software and domain applications. So you can able to find our locations. Our Bangalore is the head office. Apart from that, we are also offices in Chennai, Pune, Hyderabad, Kolkata, Noida, and Gurgaon. And we are also having the strategic alliance with Dassault System, Technia, US, Synopsys, Esri, then Presagis, MAC, Festo, DP, and Human Solutions. All these we are also giving the solutions to different industry. Then coming back to this particular session, why you choose this particular section, Esri and GeoVia? Because both the sessions and both the applications are interlinked with each other. So unless until we have the best data or the best information on a particular project and the particular data, we cannot go for the next stage of our mine planning and application. So the GIS shape file, it is having the shape file. Already you are having that information on that Esri shape file. It will be there, and it will be the input for further application in GeoVia. Apart from that, there will be a seamless integration of EIA, EMP maps with mine planning and designing output, and integration of land use and land cover map, and other satellite image and all these things. If anything, you are processing through Esri and GIS, that can be also integrated, and you can able to bring that into our GeoGIS solutions for the next stage of your application. Coming back to our mining EDST, mining at the rate EDST, the strength of our existing mining and geology domain expert we are having. And we are engaged in the mining solution sales support services in India and mining industries. Team of highly experienced geologists and mining engineers to provide technical support solutions in 3DS GeoGIS suite of products. Then support 100 plus mining, consulting and academia customers, and provided support to customers in different commodities like iron ore, manganese, chromite, limestone, gold, copper, and coal. Coming back to our solutions, we are having the solutions for different commodities, starting from open pit and underground, and it will include mine design and production planning. And we are having three major segments of the mining, that is called the earth modeling, earth design and engineering, and earth resource management. And the products to address all these applications will be Surpack, Mindshed, Whittle, and Minex. Whereas Surpack, Mindshed, and Whittle, it will be mostly for the metal and non-metal industries, where your bulk commodities like iron, manganese, chromite, bauxite, base metal, and gold, copper, all the things will come. Whereas for the Minex, it will be for the stratified and coal deposits. So you can see in this particular picture that the solutions will adhere to all the applications, address the mining industries. We're starting from open pit, underground design, stockpile management, dump design, and your quality quantity aspects, as well as the designing. Everything you can able to do the solutions what I've earlier shown about the applications what we are having. Then coming back to our most flagship application, that is called the GeoGIS Surpack application, where you can able to do the survey applications, which takes the input from the total station, DGPS, GPS, or drone data. You can able to take those data for your survey applications. Once your survey application is there, then you can go for the exploration data, where you can prepare the geological database. Then you can prepare the geological sections, where you can prepare and digitize your ore body in what way it is there available below the surface. Then you can prepare the ore body modeling, that is a 3D modeling. Then you can have the analysis with the statistics and basic statistics application. Then you can divide the entire ore body into block model for the mining applications, and you can go for the reserve estimation, reserve and resource estimation. Then you can go for the slice plan and pit and dump design, as well as underground application. So all these applications you can able to do in Surpack software. If anyone interested to learn more or know about this one, they can also contact us. We are very happy to showcase the application, how it will be helpful for that. So here the workflow of the application will be like this. We are having the major three products for the metal and non-metal, what I explained just previous one. This one is the Surpack, Whittle, and Mindshed. So the geology application you can able to do in Surpack, where your drill hole database, solid modeling, resource modeling you can able to do. Then coming back to the Whittle application, that is called the optimization, where you can have the financial modeling. That model and that application, it will take care of your investment and the profitability, and it will guide you that how much limit you can able to mine and which depth you can able to mine in open pit. So based on that, you can plan for that one. Then you can go for the again to the Surpack software for the designing of the pit and dump design, road design, and blast design. Then for your production scheduling, you can go for the Mindshed, where you can having the day-to-day production to yearly production to life of the mine production. All these things it will address for your quality and quantity with your stockpile management and other aspects of your day-to-day mining activities to the scheduling. So this is the workflow for the metal mines, what already these three products will address. As I earlier told that this optimization is the most vital part, where you can have your capex and opex investment for different commodities and different applications, where it will guide you that how much to mine, where to mine, when to mine, and when to stop the mines, and up to what level you will stop the mines in the open pit, so that the profitability you can get more, so that you can start the underground, or else you can stop the mines up to that level. So this type of application you can do in the Whittle optimization, and it will be very worldwide acceptable software across the globe to find out that the financial analysis. This particular Whittle software will take both the applications and both the information that is called the economic uncertainty as well as the mother nature. That means under the economic uncertainty, it will take the capital cost, power cost, then commodity price, interest rate, inflation, your labor cost, and all these things it will take as a human nature, which is changing very rapidly depending on the GDP and all these things. Then on the mother nature, based on the geological information, you can able to go for the joint plane or any disturbance is there or any sort of information which is geologically and structurally which is there. So that information can be also addressed. So both ways, this particular optimization will helpful to guide you and find the financial analysis. Then coming back to the scheduling part, that will be applicable for the surface and surface mine scheduling, where you can able to go for your surface mining application as well as the surface mine scheduling, where you can have the different pit, different mines and all these things, which period and where to mine and how much to mine and what is the quality and quantity you are going to get. So that application you can able to get it from here. So this one will be multi-mine, rule-based, target-based, long-term to short-term material movement, and other applications you can able to do. And the whole rows calculation, graphical output, reporting, everything you can able to do, which will be definitely applicable for the mines. Then here you can able to see that period wise, what is the ore and waste material you are getting, what is the grade you are getting, how much material, whether it is as per the applicable requirement of the industry or the organization, whether you are getting or not. So you can have the before production or the during production, you can have the schedule to have a better planning production during your process. Then coming back to the another application called Minex. This application will be for the coal and stratified deposit, where you can able to go for the designing and all the applications what you have done for the metal and non-metal applications. My earlier slide what I have explained. So it will be same way, it will be applicable for the coal modeling because it is having a different geological information and all these things. So this application will give you for this one where you can do the open pit as well as underground as well as stockpile as well as your designing part, everything you can able to do in a single software. In this particular Minex, you can have the process flow just like your Surpac and Minex, Mineshed and Whittle. In the Minex also, you can have the same process flow for open pit as well as underground applications, where the geology will be there. There in borehole database management, then SIM modeling, resource evaluation. Then you can do the optimization just like the financial modeling. Then you can go for the surface design, reserve calculation, then surface scheduling, rehabilitation. All these applications will be for the open pit application, and for the underground, then it will go for the underground layout and reserve generation and the underground scheduling. So just this application will helpful for the open pit and underground, all the aspects of the coal mining or the lignite mining you can able to do. So here you can do the same way like geology. You can do the borehole database management, SIM quality and fault modeling, coal visibility and resource evaluation, on optimization, the cost and the revenue input and the nested pit cell. Then the surface mine planning, you can prepare the pit and dome design, reserve and generation and modification, short-term mine planning. Then surface mine scheduling you can do for the equipment, calendar and mining rules, then target for the interactive scheduling, reporting and display. Then the rehabilitation also. After the particular mining process completes, you can go for the rehabilitation part, where you can have the how much material you are going to infill and how the mines will look after the completion of the mines. That also you can able to have this one in the rehabilitation. And in the underground, this is the same process that is called the geology as well as the underground mine planning, where you can do the underground layout, reserve generation and the underground scheduling. So this way you can able to address all the relevant activities for the mining as well as for the production planning through Minex software. So this completes my particular application on the GeoVia. So now I will hand over to Mr. Krishna Rao and Saranya to go for the ArcGIS application, that how other applications apart from the mine design and all these things that GIS can able to helpful for the mining industry. So over to Krishna Rao.
Thank you, Pramodji. You all would have heard about the GeoVia solutions and products. So now, the whole interesting part of this session we wanted to bring in is, one, you're seeing the core mining engineering solutions where you are processing all your data. And now the solutions have to be taken into a GIS environment, a geospatial environment, where you can extend and share all this information with all the relevant stakeholders. And this can actually easily help you disseminate and empower the decision makers in taking decisions. So before I get down into my what is ArcGIS, I would like to give a very small brief about who are ISRI. We are the global leaders in GIS, and I'm sure most of you who are there on the session know us. And we have got about 80 plus offices around the world, and about 75% of the Fortune 500 companies use this technology. And among them, there are many mining companies who use that, mining, petroleum, and other industry which are using that. So this is our presence in India. We are there in India since 1996, and about 5,000 plus customers spanning multiple industries who are using it. You can see all our locations from where we operate, and our coverage is across India, where we are managing this entire solution. So this is being a very trusted platform. You can see name a government project, name an initiative by Government of India or other private sectors and other people. All of them are using these solutions. You can see those names, some which are there in there. So all of them use this particular solution. So this is where the technology transformation is actually coming into the So you have a base geospatial infrastructure. On top of it, you can build the GIS system and you can geo-enable them with various applications. So you look at the span where we are covering. We are from the drones to satellite to machine learning. We are going down up to big data to Kubernetes to conventional. That's how the GIS industry is changing, and that is where, based on these market demands and business challenges, ESRA has evolved itself, and it is providing solutions in each of these segments, where the drone, which is very popular in the mining community, satellite-based analytics, which is very much helpful for all the mine analysis which you are doing in, and now mines are also becoming smarter, and that's where you are now becoming and bringing in many of these smart IoT devices, and you can bring in that information. And with IoT giving so much of information, they give you some millions and trillions of records per second to per minute. And with such voluminous data, you need some system where you want to analyze. You need a big data kind of a system. And that's where, the chain of these things actually has triggered ESRI to bring in all these solutions, so that you need not have to run around different technologies to meet your requirement. And these are the various leading technologies where we are doing this integration. You can see from analytics to top companies in IoT, where we do. There are various ready-to-use content which is required. So many of your mines, you need to operate with these current conditions, changing weather conditions, changing situations of the weather. You need many of the information which is current. So we offer you AccuWeather services. We give you data from Digital Globe, Planet, and other people, where a lot of content can be used within our system. We support all these cloud platforms. If any of you are interested, instead of hosting your own infrastructure, you can use any of these cloud platform our solutions are supported in. We have incorporated many data science algorithms. We'll be seeing some demos toward that, and somebody who wants to customize, you can choose from any of these technologies where we are available. So this is where the core of ArcGIS is. We support three fundamental systems. The first and the foremost is system of record, and we proudly say you should have one database and one map for your entire organization. And this is where you should share it across with your entire organization, and that is where all your transactional data and the curated data gets stored on the system of record. And once this data is made, you need, from your field team to your decision maker, you need various apps. You need not have to build it. We have built everything for you. You need to just deploy and you can start using them. Today, you will see some of the demos where we'll show you some of these live examples of how these web apps have been used out of box. And then we have built such dashboards or web applications, and you can see one single map for your entire mines, which you are working in. And we have out-of-box apps, which are built on Android and iOS system to get back with the real-time information from the field. And finally, the system of insights, where you do a lot of analytics in this with what I told you about IoT and big data, and then providing this information and insights to your decision makers on a real-time basis is the crux of this entire thing. So you see, from GeoVia, you are getting the core information. Now you want to see a progress monitoring. What is happening? Whether those land acquisitions have happened, where land acquisition is pending, have you compensated them? Is there any gap? What is the kind of ore extraction done? How much it has been done? Drone giving you those inputs. All of these things are getting mashed into this technology and gives you a single platform where you can host and bring it up. And that's where we all this, and this is being supported by all our core products. So the one product, which is the ArcGIS Pro, we We call it as a desktop GIS also, where you can curate your data, bring in data from GeoVia and other systems to integrate and match it up as a single map. Once done, you can publish them. You do a web GIS using our ArcGIS Enterprise, and all your data is now available as form of web service where you can consume that. So you want to do it on premise, use ArcGIS Enterprise. You want to use our cloud platform, you can use our SAP app called ArcGIS Online. So that's how you can make use of this thing. And these are some of the geospatial capabilities. There are many. So look at the content. We're talking about from content to data management, from there to spatial analysis, imagery and remote sensing coming in. You get your IoT real-time visualization. And then on the third, you can see a 3D visualization analytics of your mine thing, how much has been progressed, at what level you are. All of those things can be done on a real time. So, initially when you are starting, it may look a bit difficult or a bit challenging. But once you make it, the kind of information these systems can provide you is enormous. And then that's where you will start analyzing and your process improvement starts. And your reduce of your delivery cycle also starts. So these are very two key capabilities of thing why you should turn your mind into a geospatial mind, and you can start using these platforms. So I'll ask my colleague, Saranya, to now take you down into all these demos. I will start from a drone to all those things where she can take. And now you can see here at the application side of my mining, when I come to exploration, you can do your prospecting and land use planning, mobile workforce, data management and collaboration. On the operation side, you can see from a blast hole planning to the tailing storage facility management. You can see all of this. And then on the environment and health safety comes to environmental monitoring and mine reclamation, and finally onto the logistics, where you can get into inventory management, real-time fleet tracking and all those stuff. And that's where this whole important aspect of applications of you are there. And I'm sure you all being mining experts, these all are something which you do on a day-to-day basis. And at this point, I would like to see how this handshake is happening. The GeoVia being a core mining organization, you see your geological database constitutes of caller, survey, assay, geology, all this information is there. And through SERPAC, mining, VITL, all this information you are generating. We can import and export those in form of shape files or 3D DXF DWG files. And you can bring it into E3 system, or you can use, there are few converters which help you in doing interoperability, like you have a GIM suite from Acquire, which can directly push the SERPAC, MineX data systems into the ArcGIS. And that's how the ArcGIS can actually help you take down your system from your own workstation to an enterprise level, and you become a geospatial enterprise organization. So I think from there, I'll ask my colleague Saranya to take over, and she can show you some of the very interesting demos on what all these products can do.
Thank you, Krishna sir. Hope my screen is visible.
Yes.
Good afternoon, everyone. In this part of my session, we will start with to see how we can incorporate drones in our everyday workflow, or workflow that is already in place, how we can optimize it with drones, how it can help us save time, and what are all the outputs we can get from these solutions. So most of you might be familiar with some of the applications. So like you can do a stockpile management. Once you have done the drone survey from the orthomosaics and all the important files that get generated, like our digital surface model, digital terrain model, we can use powerful tools to calculate all the overburdens and stockpiles we have within our mines. We can also do several monitoring work and operation planning with the help of these high resolution images. And in case you're going for drilling or blasting, you can do an assessment before and after. You can have a drone flight before you're blasting, and you can have one after. And you can use several tools we have to compare these two to understand how our operations are proceeding. And drones can also be a very powerful tool for hazard identification and mitigation. For example, the 2D and 3D views we have within our software will help you identify areas where there are erosions, whether there are any wall damages within your open pit mines, or any potential hazards. You can identify them at an early stage to save a lot of time and money. Finally, the high resolution orthophotos and digital surface model maps will be very useful, and as they support in your mining exploration projects. So basically our idea is to reduce uh, like manual efforts. We are trying to reduce the time that you go to your field visit. So drones will help us in all those things. Coming to the solutions we have two solutions. One is desktop based, which is drone to map, and second one is cloud based, which is site scan for ArcGIS. So both these products give you outputs we just discussed, like you get 2D orthomosites, elevation models. You also get several interactive tools to help you get started with some of the analytics like 2D measurements, volumetric analysis in the same window. So when we talk about SiteScan for ArcGIS, it is a new offering we have. This cloud is completely hosted in India, so you don't have to worry about the data leaving the Indian soil. And it is a complete end-to-end drone solution. By that I mean you can even plan your fleets using our application. And once you have planned your fleet, you get access to several different scanning options. For example, you can have a vertical scan or perimeter scan or corridor scan. Depending upon your area of interest, you can have the options to choose from any of these scanning types. And after your drone survey is done, all you have to do is just upload your photographs along with the ground control points. In few hours, you will receive a mail that the processing is complete, and you can take a look at all the 2D and 3D outputs that have been generated. So this is a typical workflow, how it would look like. So first you will have your team members who are in that project, and then you can have a fleet management solution where you can keep track of all your drones and what is the battery level and how much time it will take. You can create a project, then select the correct flight mode and the flight settings required. So once all this is done, the application automatically creates a pre-flight checklist to ensure the safety is followed, and then you can create a flight plan. Once the flight is done, after the flight, you can transfer all the data that you have collected to your device and upload this for online processing. Let us take a look at the demonstration. So this is our site scan for ArcGIS interface. So here, this is where we were telling about you just have to upload the photographs. So here you can upload your photographs and ground control points. So in this particular mine area, we have around 267 points. Here we have around 333 ground control points. Let us take a look at some of the outputs that have been generated. So here you can generate contours on the fly in the intervals you specify. So all this is completely dynamic. And here you can choose whether you would like to work with a DTM or DSM. In addition to that, you can also take a look at elevation models. You can carry out cut and fill analysis on the fly. So here we have our most important output, which is our orthomosaic. So we will also see a demonstration of how we can use this orthomosaic in further other analysis required for our project. So in addition to this, you also get access to several exploration tools. So if you see on the right, we have a line tool, we have a volume tool. So all these tools will help us get started with some of the basic analysis. So using the volume tool, I can digitize an area of interest, and I can view the volume report in a separate window. Here you can get a detailed information about what is the cut required, or how much volume is required for fill, and what is the net volume. And here you can also have the option to compare different surfaces. Or if you have any files that need to be overlaid, whether you have your DXF files or you have your maps in PDF formats, you can upload all of them here, and just to see how the data is changing. And here you also get an option to compare it with different surfaces. You can compare it with a mission before blasting, you can compare it with a mission after blasting, and you can change the elevation planes for comparison here. And in case you have frequent drone flights within your organization, you can compare images from two different time periods. So here you can see that one image is from June, another from November. Here we can see how the mining area has changed within few months. So these type of easy to use tools help us keep track of our mining area constantly. And you must have noticed like how the processing is really easy. So even if you do not have a background in photogrammetry, you can easily upload your photographs, and all you would have to do is just select the process button here. So we have made it completely easy to use for all our users. So taking a look at another product, another output, which is point cloud. So you can see that it kind of acts like a digital twin for your study area. And here also you can carry out several measurements like area, distances, and if you would like to have elevation profile of your study area, you can do so very easily. So as you move the mouse, you can see that we have the elevation profile at the bottom. This will give us in-depth understanding of our study area. So you need not make frequent field visits in this case. And another interesting output we get is a 3D mesh. So this 3D mesh can be shared with any of your stakeholders. So even if they do not have the license or access to this particular portal, you can share the URL with them directly, and they will be able to open and explore what output we have generated. So you can also download the outputs to your local machine for further exploration, or if you have your portal, you can directly share all the outputs we have generated with ArcGIS Online or ArcGIS Enterprise. Another advantage is you can access all these outputs in ArcGIS Earth as well. So your users will get another interesting application where they can explore all these data in detail. So here you can see that I have called the orthomosaics that we have generated in our site scan for ArcGIS into ArcGIS Earth. So here also we have tools for 2D and 3D exploration. You can carry out interactive analysis like if you want to do an elevation profile, or you want to create a line of sight, or you want to carry out measurements both in 2D and 3D, you can easily do them here. So these type of tools will be very useful in case you have a lot of stakeholders and lot of viewers who wants to see your data, and this can be made really simple for your entire organization. Let us take a look at another tool. So SiteScan for ArcGIS is evolving constantly since it is a new product, and we also have some interesting tools that can be very useful for mining industry. So here you can see we have a new tool called haul road analysis. So what this does is once you have digitized your haul routes, you get several outputs like what is the crossfall in this area, what is the road slope, what is the berm height, what is the road width. These type of data can also be generated on the fly. So it makes your haul road analysis completely automatic, dynamic, and it gives you an option to play around with the limits. So you can change your minimum and maximum limits to see how each of these parameters are changing. So these are some of the tools, and you can take a look at the new mesh engine. So this gives you a clear digital twin of a study area. So this is how drones can help you collect data about your study area, help in inspections, and carry out several analysis like haul road analysis and any hazard investigations you want to do. You can carry out all of them in this place. Now let us move to our next part of the webinar, which is to show how we can bring all these data into a single place. So in our the first session, we saw how Pramod sir spoke about how he has used different softwares which help in the entire mining life cycle, like SERPAC, where it is very important to understand There are both 2D and 3D outputs. So ArcGIS provides you very powerful connectors and data interoperability capabilities. So you can bring all of these data here in ArcGIS Pro so that it can be used in further analysis and also shared with everyone else in the organization and the stakeholders. So let us say that I have a set of data. It can be CSV files or any mining data, block models, everything in a single place. You can bring all of them, batch import them using batch import data. So to save time, I have already imported this batch file. So here you can see the polylines, collars, your ore body and boundary, all of them, you can visualize them here. And another important advantage of using ArcGIS is in case you have your files in DXF format, you can directly bring them here. In case if it is not geo-referenced, then you need not worry. So what happens is, so once you call your DXF files, the CAD layer tab gets opened automatically. Here you have the option to define the projection, geo-reference, and convert them into features and carry out several other spatial analysis as well. So these type of tools makes the transition between several softwares very easily. So you need not worry about what data format should I use, or how we can bring all of these together in a single place. Now let us move to now let us take a look at some of the other applications we have. So if you see this particular diagram, and even when Krishna sir spoke about it, mining is a sector which has a lot of stages, and GIS plays an important role in each of these stages. For example, from your exploration, from your survey stage, exploration till reclamation, there are a lot of GIS inputs that goes into play, and ArcGIS can help you bring all of these inputs together, and it can act as a single source of truth for your organization. For example, in addition to bringing the data, you can also carry out some analysis that can be very crucial. Let us say that for mine infrastructure design, you have several mine leases and you would like to know what is the optimal route that can connect all my mine lease areas. So in that case, you can go for a least cost path analysis, which will give you the optimal route, which will connect these mining areas. Here you can also give several other conditions like I do not want my road to cross any protected areas. I want to stay away from railway crossings. I would like to construct my road in a low elevation and low slope. And also you want to avoid or prefer certain land use land covers. You can give all these sorts of decision making conditions to the software, and the cost path analysis tool will give you several options. So here you can see that we have three options. So and all three options are of different lengths. So it gives you option to find out what would be the optimal route considering your restrictions. So in addition to this, once you have all the data, for example, let us say you're working on any mining project, you might have several data like this. You might have your mineral data, you might have data about geochemistry, geophysical survey data, you have information about any hazards like landslides, you have data about any mineral related data. So there are so many data sets that goes into a project, and it might become a little difficult to handle all these data in silos. So that is when you can create a data system like this. So the example I'm showing you now is a mineral resources data system. Here you can see all the mine records are organized properly according to the availability of information, and you can navigate to any of these mines, and all the data associated with this will be present in a single place. So here you can have links to your maps, KML files. You can have any attachments, like if you want to store any PDF documents, all of this can be stored in a single place. So mine information can mine information system can also be a very good application that you can build around GIS. In addition to that, ArcGIS also offers you powerful 2D and 3D capabilities, as we saw earlier. So in case you have borehole data, usually they are present as CSV files or in Microsoft Access database. You can have several connectors which will help us bring this mine borehole data into both 2D and 3D perspective. So here you can see the mining collars, and here we have the borehole service. So here we have all the collar information in 2D, and here we have all the information about what is the depth, what is the concentration of all the components, and here we have the rock types. So you can bring both these 2D and 3D view in a single place. So it is easier for us to understand the data sets we have, and it also brings out some important insights into a data sets. So here you can see the depth and the depth of each collar and what is the dip direction. All of this can be brought in a single place. And another important application is, like we all know, stockpile inventory is a very important exercise in several organizations. So you can create custom tools that are very specific for your organization. You can create so here in this particular example, you can see that we have created a custom task which will help us calculate both the volume and heights of stockpiles. So once I digitize the stockpile, I can update the elevation data and calculate the base elevation, and finally I can also calculate the stockpile volume. So using these tasks, I have calculated the volume of these stockpiles. This, the power of ArcGIS is now you can bring this data into your browser itself. So here you'll be able to see, here we have all the digitized stockpiles along with the volume, both in 2D and 3D, and this can also be attached to a dashboard. So you will have all the information related to your project at the tip of your finger. So this is how we have made it very seamless to move from desktop silos to a central system where you can have all your data. And the next thing I would like to show is you can also create several tree-based applications like this. So any of your decision maker who takes a look at such application will understand what is the context here, like what is the component, what is the volume, what is the height, everything in a single place. Next, not only your borehole surveys, base maps, and drone imageries, you can also bring any vector files that you have regarding your mining area. For example, here you can see I have navigated to mine area in Chandrapur. So here I have several boundaries, like I have my coal stock area, I have my crusher area, forest boundaries, etc. I can bring all of these also into my ArcGIS portal. So here you can create contours, you can create maps. So when you are a mining organization, you have several like you may have to submit reports to your state pollution control board or central pollution control board or Ministry of Environment and Forest, which could be for any of your clearance activities. So you may need to submit several maps like this. So these ArcGIS helps you create maps, and it also gives you powerful imagery capability. So if you would like to superimpose any of these layer on, let us say, list 3 imagery or cartosat imagery, you can do so very easily because we have, in addition to 2D and 3D capabilities, we also offer you powerful imagery capabilities as well. So the same data, if you would like to understand much better, you can create powerful dashboards like this. So you can see, just by taking a look at this dashboard, you're able to see what is the area covered by coal stocks, what is the area belonging to sidings, what is the length of colony roads, how length of major roads. You can get an information about not only your mines but also the environment surrounding your mines. You can also the dashboard is very dynamic, so you can navigate these dashboards with reference to your landmarks, or you can also navigate with reference to your mine boundaries as well. So these type of dashboard help us keep track of everything that goes on within our mining area. In addition to that, we do a lot of field surveys or field investigations in our day-to-day operations. For example, you may need to carry out a geological survey, or you use any questionnaires that needs to be filled out on regular intervals. In that cases, you can make use of our mobile applications. So these mobile applications can be installed in any Android or iOS mobiles. And what the main USP is that you can take the photographs or attach any documents to support your field investigations, and all the uploads you make will be automatically geotagged. In addition to those photographs, you will also have the exact geographical coordinates of the survey that has been undertaken. And these outputs can be connected to a dashboard directly. So you can keep track of your field activities as well. So here you can see some of the locations where inspections are required. So you can create maps for your field inspections, and you can also design what type of questionnaire needs to be created. For example, in this, here I am creating a form-based application where I want to carry out a simple geology survey. I can have predefined questionnaires with easy drop downs. So the user can go to the site, he can just fill these forms, and if necessary, he can take the photographs and attach any documents and submit it easily. So like you can see here, in case you are in an area where you do not have any mobile network, you can still collect the data. So once you come back to a network area, you can sync those data you have collected back very easily. So these are some of the examples of how you can use mobile apps in your mining field work. In addition to that, Krishna sir mentioned how you can do real-time data integration with ArcGIS. So this is one small example where we are trying to track all the haul trucks. Let us say that you have several haul trucks within your organization and they all have RFIDs installed in their vehicle. You can connect the feeds from this to a dashboard in ArcGIS. So at any given time, you will know where your haul trucks are. You can also create geofences so that you get alerts every time that particular truck crosses your boundary. So these are some of the applications. So in our drone session, we saw about how we created orthomosaics, right? So once we have that orthomosaic, the next natural step is to extract certain information from them, which will be useful for our organization. For example, here I have orthomosaic closer to a mining area. And once I have the image, I can use powerful deep learning tools we have within ArcGIS. So these AI-based tools help us automate some of the manual activities. For example, if I want to digitize the farm boundaries, I don't have to spend time on manually digitizing them. I can train a model which will help me extract these farm boundaries automatically. Similarly, you can identify areas where vegetation is present. You can automatically extract roads, and all of these data you can, of course, share it with others in your organization as well. Here you can see that we have extracted all the farm boundaries, roads, railway tracks, and vegetation. And this particular map, you can share it with all your stakeholders. Coming to the next session, which is how we can keep track of all the sustainable development activities that goes on within our mines. So this is one example where you can integrate the GIS as well as imagery capabilities to understand how areas ecology is changing over time. So here you can see that this particular area was destroyed due to a landslide. So here you can see with every year, every few years, how that particular ecological area is changing, how the mining area is changing, and after a disaster, how these areas are recovering. So these type of analysis you can do easily. And in case you would like to have a system to manage all the leases, or you want to manage the land use that is present within your mining area, you can definitely bring all those data sets as well. And when we talk about sustainability, we all know that it is important to understand how our mining area is changing over time. So here what we have done, we have created a land use land cover classification maps of this particular mining area over different time periods, like from 2016 to 2019. Here you can see how the coal dump area is changing with every year, how the area under crop is changing, how the scrubs are changing. So this gives us an understanding of how our mining area is changing, and this can be very useful in monitoring your reclamation activity as well. And in case you have air quality monitoring stations within your study area, the data from those monitoring stations can also be integrated into a dashboard. So here, if you see that this dashboard is configured such that if the air quality value is within the prescribed standards, it will be in green. And if it is not adhering to standards put forth by your pollution control board, you can get a warning in red. So these can be color coded according to our requirements. In case you have real-time monitoring stations where the real-time feeds are coming continuously from different places, like you have real-time feed coming from your automatic weather stations, air quality monitoring stations, you have CCTV cameras, and there are real-time feeds coming from them. You can integrate all of them using our powerful real-time integration capabilities and keep track of all of this in a single place. So here in the left, you can see how the air quality is present within these mines, and if you have any checkposts you would like to monitor, you can bring that CCTV feeds here. And similarly, you can bring real-time feeds from whichever sensors you have. Similarly, if you have collecting water quality, collecting samples to carry out a water quality analysis, then you can present the result in a dashboard like this. So here we have a total of 182 locations where samples were collected, of which 145 was adhering to the standard, 18 were not adhering to the standard. So when you select on that particular collection point, you can see the what is the water quality, air quality values there, and you can also have any advisory is required, you can comment there directly. So these are some of the applications. And when we talk about reclamation activities and sustainable activities, so there might be several problems related to environment within your mining area. For example, you might have problems with silt migration, you have soil erosion. You can try to carry out several analyses to prevent such soil erosion as well. So in this particular example, we have created soil erosion maps based on some parameters like vegetation in the area, what is the slope length, what is the steepness. So using all these factors, we have created a soil erosion map. And using that map as a reference, we are trying to identify the locations where intervention is required. For example, we are prioritizing the study area based upon which watershed is of high priority, and there you can carry out intervention tasks, like you can propose a check dam, or where you can propose a boulder retention wall. So these type of analysis you can do on the fly. So these are some of the applications I wanted to show you today. Now I will hand over the session to Krishna Rao sir, who will throw some light on why it is important to track sustainability goals within mining area. Over to you, Krishna sir.
Thank you, Saranya. You would have seen the demo of where the SDG, this is something which is now coming up across the globe, where people have to present the sustainability part of your mines. And it is part of the global requirement under SDG goal number 12, where every mine has to report how sustainable your mining is, especially on the part of consumption and production patterns. So you look, there are about like 7 sustainable goals which has to be maintained by the mining industry. This is already published by Government of India, where you have to support basically it's a part of like developing countries to strengthen the scientific and technology capacity. Another very important part of the sustainable development goal is they need to bring all this information in a geospatial ecosystem to show where this real change is coming up. And that's why you see it is telling about achieving environmental sound management, and especially transitional companies you have to adopt that. So what you could have seen the last few demos which Saranya was doing, they were all talking about how sustainable your mines are, and in the reclamation process, how you are able to reclaim your mines. So let's see at one of the maps which is already published by the UNDP, the Sustainable Development Goals for the 12, what is and how India is rated. So yeah, here you can see this is the responsible consumption and production on the SDG 12 goal. This is built on our platform only, where the UN uses our ISRIS platform to publish it. And India, you can see there are a lot of challenges which still remain. Of course, we are better than some of the developed countries, maybe so-called, but still there are a lot of challenges which are there where we may have to address it. And this is where, if you could have watched the news over the last few months, there is the sustained movement of sustainability which is going in, and you could have seen where our Prime Minister has committed for a zero emission or a zero carbon commitment which is going to come from India, and we have set a goal for ourselves, and that is not going to happen without mining sector contributing to it. And that is where all your contribution will change these particular dimensions of this. This is a public site, you all can go there and you can have a look at it. And then this is what is the mining industry asking from exploration of feasibility, where you have to report your sustainability development goal, is about mapping the extensions of the economic ore deposit. You have to do that. And then you have to review what is your existing geological information, the surface thing. These are all. So, this is all is what is coming from your GeoVia software. That all has to be integrated into this system. Then comes on to design and planning, which is again coming from GeoVia, we are coming in. And then come to construction and installation, you're showing a real-time asset management of that. And finally to exploitation, to the mine closure plan. So when you come to mine closure and post-mining land use, where ISRI contributes a lot. And that's how this handshake between GeoVia and ISRI is going to work on. And that's where we see, all esteemed customers of this industry can take benefit out of that.
Thank you everyone for participating. If you have any specific questions or further queries, you can write to us at marketing@edstechnologies.com. We will surely answer that and we'll come back to you. Thank you everyone.